Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries 8-0. And the next Facilities Committee meeting is scheduled for Monday, February 10th. Okay, Mrs. Baines-Clemens, Finance Report, please.
Thank you. The Finance Committee met on January 13th. First, I will make a motion to approve contracts A through L.
Thank you, Mrs. Walters. It was moved by Mrs. Baines-Clemens, seconded by Mrs. Walters. Are there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 8-0.
Okay, second, I will make a motion to approve student activity account A, which is the high school class of 2023.
Seconded by Mrs. Thompson. Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 8-0.
The next Finance Committee meeting is scheduled for Monday, February 10th.
You can roll right into IU.
Okay. The IU met, the IU met on February 18th. Well, it's going to meet on February 18th, but we just met the last Tuesday. I don't know, a week ago. I don't have the date, but do the math. So probably the most important thing from the IU meeting was the approval of the 2020-2021 Bucks County Intermediate Unit Programs and Services and Instructional Materials and Research Services budget in the amount of $2,107,422. This budget supports the operation of the Programs and Services Division of the Bucks County Intermediate Unit, which provides direct curriculum, staff development, instructional materials, research and instructional technology services to the Bucks County school districts. This is the only portion of the IU budget that is directly funded by the districts that we vote on. This is the only portion we vote on, and it's actually a small portion of the budget. The school districts contribute in two different ways. There's two contribution methods. One reflects the aid ratio of the districts, and the other is the number of students that we send there for services. So despite the fact that the budget has actually increased by $308,519, or 17.15% this year, the rate for the districts has actually gone down, and then the student rate has stayed the same at $4.55. That is due to the IU's entrepreneurial efforts to be able to continue to bring in income from other sources. And so despite the fact that they're growing and expanding and adding additional programs and services, it's not costing the districts any more money. They're able to fund that in other ways, including grants and other things. So, that was they really do a great job over there with continuing to expand the services to a greater number of students. For Penridge School District specifically, our 1920 budget, our contribution in 1920 was $34,711, and this year it is going to be $34,233, so it actually was a $478 decrease for us specifically. Some other things that I just wanted to note. Dr. Hoffman does a great job of trying to help everyone understand what the different roles are of the administration at the IU and what kinds of services they offer. And so he does these videos that he interviews all of these staff members, and he posts them online. So you can watch those videos, and it's linked to the website. So Jennifer Young is a teaching support specialist, and she was honored as the recipient of the Dr. Richard O. Coe Rookie of the Year Award for 2019. And there's a video of her on the website. He also interviewed Dr. Rachel Holler, and she discussed her role as Director of Programs and Services, and she was honored as the recipient of the 2019 Dr. A. William Van Teen Leadership Award. She's also been instrumental in getting a lot of the grant money and a lot of those entrepreneurial efforts to help fund things over at the IU. One of those, she worked to get a grant for the IU to receive it was a Teacher in the Workplace grant, which the IU will get $25,000, and $2.2 million was given out by the state to 92 local education agencies, so they were one of the recipients of that, and that's going to go towards a three-day career academies in the summer of 2020 focused on STEM, health sciences, manufacturing, and entrepreneurism. So it's another example of how they're getting outside resources to fund additional activities for students. I'll just briefly touch on a few other things. The Bucks County Career Pathways Partnership was something that they formed. The executive committee members represent many aspects of our community, including business partners, local employers, school district and career and technical center leaders, nonprofit leaders, and post-secondary representatives. And the mission of the Bucks County Career Pathways Partnership is to develop a network of schools, businesses, and other partners to expand education, opportunities, life paths for each student, to make informed post-graduation decisions, and develop employability skills to foster community economic empowerment. So this was a big effort that was really pushed in this past year to help make sure that our kids are finding their paths and able to be successful after they graduate. And there's a they actually compiled a social emotional wellness and school safety resource guide, which is really helpful, and that's being distributed to all of the school districts. There's 30 different services specifically designed to support districts in these important areas, and they compiled all of that into one resource guide so that school districts will know all of those resources that are available to them. They also started the Human Resources Management System, and they're beginning to implement that. It's a cloud-based system, and it saves a lot of time by integrating all of the data into one place. And they're actually leading the way on this. They're the first IU to start doing this, and they're hoping that this service will be beneficial to the school districts as well to start to work to use that service through them. So that's all I have. Thank you. Oh, and the next meeting is going to be February 18th.
Yes, thank you. Okay, the next report is technology, Mr. Rice.
Technology, it's always awesome. We were very fortunate. We had two great presentations. Ms. Cooper had district-wide website evaluation process. She formulated a ton of information in a presentation that was awesome, that kind of elaborated on two companies that are coming in to get the district website up to date, current, and I'm sure that is going to be a difficult decision to find that up, to figure all those details out, but there was a ton of information, so I appreciate Ms. Cooper for the presentation. Mrs. Miller also had a presentation on something not quite so much fun, but it was an RFP for managed lit fiber WAN services, which is just the connectivity of all the district website buildings to each other. So nothing exciting, but Mrs. Miller, as always, does a great job. So I appreciate both the presentations, so thank you. The next meeting, sorry. Monday, February 10th.
Okay. Thank you. Our next committee report is the tech school, Mrs. Dolan.
Thank you. The Upper Bucks County Tech School met on January 16th. Our student of the month was a Penridge student, Vincenzo Muzalesi. I don't know if I got that one right. He's a culinary arts student, so we honored him. Next, our students every year that are in health occupations head to King of Prussia for a state conference. They always look forward to that. Yearly, our cosmetology students also head to New York City, which is always an exciting trip for them. Also, our spring breakfast, the Breakfast with the Easter Bunny, is going to be March 14th, 2020, And everybody from the community is welcome to come up there. And, yeah, and I actually wasn't in attendance. Time got away from me, we were leaving. So does anybody else have anything to add from our tech school meeting?
The only thing I just wanted to make mention of is the law enforcement program was recognized there, and how much of an impact it's having on students. And I recently had the opportunity to be able to go into that classroom and do some of the activities with the kids, and I was really impressed with the maturity and professionalism of these kids at such a young age. It was well beyond their years. And there were several students who spoke, and the teacher, many of them speaking about how great the teacher is, but several students also spoke about the experience that they're having and the impact it's having on their lives. And Mrs. Sessa, your son, was one of the speakers, and he spoke very eloquently about how much of an impact this program has had for him, and how much of a difference it's made in his life, and how that's impacted his plans going forward. So,
Mr. Sweet is here. Do you have anything to add to our tech school report? Do you have anything?
Just that our students will be competing in the Skills USA District Competition tomorrow up at the Ag Center in Allentown. We have over 70 competitors from 3 districts, so they're really looking forward. They've been working hard to go out there. We usually have a very good showing, so we're hoping we get a lot of first places, so they go on to Hershey for the state competition. But everything else is moving along. It's going great.
And I forgot to mention, we had 4 students receive their FFA jackets at Farm Show this year,
Correct.
and 1 student received her Keystone Award, which is a big deal at a Farm Show as well. So that was awesome.
And second place for our pin.
Great. So with that, our next tech school JOC board meeting is going to be February 20th. And I think it's actually going to be at 8 p.m. the full board meeting with curriculum or committee meetings before that. And everybody's welcome there too. Thank you.
I just wanted to comment. I want to wish everybody at the skills competition tomorrow good luck. So, Mr. Sweden, good luck to all the kids tomorrow.
Thank you.
I had the opportunity to go to the farm show. This is already 3 weeks ago. Time's going by fast, so I got to see the, if you have children who can join FFA, I didn't learn about FFA until I went to college, and some of my dorm mates were in it. I had never heard of it before, but talk about poised, confident students, young people. They ran their entire meeting, which was about an hour and a half long, and I was just really impressed by it. And the jacket ceremony was pretty cool. Kind of made me wish I had been in FFA. So they did really well. Okay, our next committee report is the PAC, the Penridge Area Coordinating Committee. And Mr. Cornett, did you want to give a report?
Sure. Good evening. The Penridge Area Coordinating Committee is all the municipalities associated with the Penridge School District. At the meeting, we had West Rock Hill, Dublin, the school district itself, and East Rock Hill were the members that were in attendance. West Rock Hill is moving forward, building a compressor station. They're also involved, one of their board members is on the subcommittee for environmental stability, and invited all of us to share any ideas they might have for that. So if you want to contact West Rock Hill, they'd be more than happy to hear your comments. Dublin talked about their town center revitalization program, which is an exciting effort. East Rock Hill Township talked about the quarry, which they constantly talk about it. They had no tax increases for 2018, and they're still looking at updating their comprehensive plan. So if you have any comments to that plan and how you might look at proposals that they might want to consider, please contact the township. We, on the other hand, I brought up an issue that I thought was important for the school district to work with each municipality in looking at new development. And one of the concerns I had was, where in the approval process does the school district have any input as to how buses serve new development? Like, We don't know how many children are going to be in that development, if there's walkways or cartways, or if it's a stop with different stop signs that have to be utilized for bus service, which could impact traffic congestion. So we really talked about looking at an articulation agreement between each one of those municipalities and the school district, fairly similar to what the fire departments have. This is nothing that's groundbreaking, but it would give the school districts an edge in looking at a development at the preliminary stages, being able to say, this particular suggestion that we would have where buses should stop and not impact the congestion on the roadway. Mr. Nyman, the chairman, thought it was a great idea, so we're going to move forward with that, and we'll probably have some type of articulation agreement within the next 30 to 60 days. But I thought it was an important thing for the school district to be involved with the development process in the region and work with the existing developers in their particular projects. Our next meeting, oh, by the way, Sherry was there from the school district, and besides asking for tape for our STEM program, and she did very effectively, she certainly made everyone aware of the different programs that were being offered by the school district. One was a sleep study program, and I guess it was Work for Penridge program and adult evening school program. So again, I want to thank you very much for bringing that collateral information along. Our next meeting is going to be February 27th, and that is at the West Rock Hill Penridge Community Center. Excuse me. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next committee report is the Penridge Community Education Foundation. Mrs. Walters.
Thank you. PCEF met on Saturday, January 4th. We discussed some of the events that are coming up this spring. I apologize, I got a new calendar and I haven't transferred all my dates over, so I'm going off of memory, but I believe, and
It's the last Tuesday.
April 14th is a lovely evening. It's a Tuesday night, and that's at the Washington House. And then March 28th is the Spelling Bee at Central. Does that sound right? Okay. Never trust my brain. So we talked about those events, the nomination form for the Friends of Education Award, which is 3 people usually get picked in the community that have given back to education in the district in some way. And those nominations are rolling in, and our meeting actually got pushed back for next month to February 8th. So we have more time for those nominations to come in and we'll discuss. And then they are honored at the April 14th, a lovely evening event at the Washington House. Our next meeting is February 8th, and that's it.
Thank you. And I had gotten an email today about if you want to buy ads for the program, and we can sponsor. So if you're interested in being a sponsor of a lovely evening, you can buy something as small as a little quarter of a page if you have business, or if you just want to give PCEF a shout out, which I hope my board colleagues will join me in doing. No pressure. But that was just another item that I had thought about. Unfortunately, I don't have the dates in my calendar here either, so sorry. Just looking for it. Okay, the next item is old business. Does anyone have any old business? Okay, so moving to new business. The one thing I thought maybe I would point out is that we have gone to a different schedule for our committee meetings. Whereas we used to have them on Monday nights and Tuesday nights, we've now put them, blocked them together on the first and second Monday nights of each month. So just note that change, and you have curriculum, activities, personnel grouped together, and finance, facilities, and technology grouped together, and then policy will sort of float where it fits. So if there's a policy that pertains to one committee, it will be on that night. Okay. So that brings us to,
I just wanted to add something else. One of the other things that the IU did, they worked with other intermediate units across the state and compiled a list of all of the state mandates that affect all of the school districts, all in one handy manual. So if you ever wanted to see all of the things that districts are mandated to do by the state, here it is. And one of the things we talked about was putting a cost to this, right? And let's see how much the cost is for all of these mandates that are mostly unfunded. So this is something that I can distribute to the board members as well. And if it's something that we want to post or distribute, also that's also an option. So thanks.
Okay, thank you. We're back to public comment. Is there anyone who would like to make public comment? Remember, you just have to state your name and municipality.
So, hi, my name's Adrienne. There we go. Hi, Adrienne King, Hilltown Township. So thank you for having me. So I didn't intentionally come to say anything. I came to support my good neighbors, the Sessas. But as I was sitting here and I was listening to everything, something struck me that my husband and I had spoke about, and I just wanted to bring it to the board's attention. So my question is, what intentional initiatives and efforts are being done to add diversity into the school district's administration, teaching staff, and school board? And the reason I asked the question today is because as I looked at the pictures for the MLK celebrations that you did, you showed the one picture of the group of girls smiling at the event that they had. And in the background, there were black masks on the wall. So while maybe not intentional, I think if there were a diverse set of eyes that looked at that picture before it was broadcast, they may have brought up or voiced that could have been a little bit insensitive. Because I know that as a black family in the district, when I was paging through my social media and I saw that page, my husband and I looked at each other and said, why would they have chosen to show that picture specifically? So you can go back and revisit it and maybe you'll understand the perspective that we're coming from with that. Because I know that our family, we've just started our journey with this school district and we don't plan to go anywhere anytime soon, but I really pray that before the end of my girls' 10 or 12 years in the district, that I could be able to stop asking that question because that I would have seen some effort put into adding diversity into the district. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Heather Sinsel from Hilltown Township. I also didn't plan to speak. My son was absent from school today, but it was important for us to be here to support the Sessa family as well. Today during school they were told something about the dance on Saturday, that there would be breathalyzers, things of that sort. So I was wondering what that actually means and what, to avoid a lot of phone calls to the school tomorrow, because it's blowing up social media as you can imagine, what the plan is for that, and who would be administering such a thing if that were true. Thank you.
Ms. Stenzel, what school are you speaking of? Is
The
this a
high
high school? Okay, great.
Winter ball, is
Will
this
somebody follow up with you?
Okay, great. I don't have terms.
Any other public comment?
Hi, James Sinsel from Hilltown Township? Yeah, Hilltown Township. I just want to know, like, can we have these more like publicly advertised to our school? Like, will we be able to put the meetings on the Ramble, like, to show kids that the meetings are coming up? Because when we walked in, the security person in the office didn't know what we were here for. When we said we weren't here for theater, they just stared at us like, well, what are you here for? So that just kind of shows that a lot of students don't come. So I would like to know, like, is it possible to know the dates like 2 or 3 weeks prior so that we could advertise them throughout the school so that more kids just could start coming?
So James, the meeting for the school year are set, and I can make sure I share them
Okay.
with Mr. Friedman.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. We have a couple of announcements. An executive session was held on Monday, January 13th, 2020, to discuss personnel and legal matters. An executive session will be held following tonight's school board meeting to discuss personnel and legal matters. And the next school board meeting is scheduled for Monday, February 24th, 2020, in this room. And I will make a motion to adjourn.